As the festive season gets into full swing, South Africans are being warned to stay alert as criminals take advantage of the busy period. Festive crimes are becoming more advanced, ranging from fake phone calls and impersonation schemes to online shopping fraud. The South African or the Southern African Fraud Prevention Service recently launched a campaign called Just Say Goodbye, aimed at helping consumers recognize and avoid these schemes. And to help us unpack these schemes now, we are, especially during this time of the year, and also how to spot them, we are now joined by Nick Harris. He's the head of financial crime at Capitec, and he joins us now via our video link. And Nick, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Let's start off here. I mean, during this time of the year, some people may have just a bit more in their pockets because of the nature of the festive season, and sometimes can end up becoming vulnerable, particularly to scams. Maybe just tell us about, the issues around the trends we pick up on during festive scams.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the only people that look more forward to Christmas than my kids are the scamsters and the fraudsters out there. And really, I think the first one first category is really around buying anything online. So a lot of people spend a lot of time on places like Facebook Marketplace, looking for those cheap bargains to fill up the Christmas stockings. You might come across these advertising amazing prices. You click through on that link, it's going to take you to a website. It looks almost like a real website. It might be luxury goods. They're offering 80% off. It turns out to be a fake scam site. So that's the first thing, really, around being really careful about following links and doing your homework, making sure that you go to the official site. And also anything that you're buying or selling online, just make sure you do your homework around it. The second broad category around it is what we've seen linked to these fake adverts, and that is that people also do shopping for low-cost airlines or cheap streaming, like for DSTV or Netflix and the like. They're clicking on links again, and it's going to take you to a website, and that's going to ask you to install software onto your phone. Your phone's going to warn you. It's going to tell you, watch out, this looks highly suspect. And what you might actually be, in fact, doing is downloading a malware that will take over your device. So again, being very careful around clicking what then slowing that down a little bit and so forth. I think you touched on the one really important one, which is really around what we're calling these impersonation schemes. And it's anything from an unsolicited phone call, somebody pretend to be your bank, somebody pretend to even be SABC, saying they found a parcel of yours that might have drugs and counterfeit goods or all those kind of things, and they're going to start trying to pressurize you. So really slowing down, thinking about it. You've got an SMS that says it's from the courier guy, or you bought something from Temu or Shein, and you're owing out value. These guys are really clever. So just again, before you provide your bank card details, just think, did I really order something, or should I be clicking again on that SMS? If it's your bank or if it's a SABC and they're starting to ask you to do funny things like opening up your banking app and making payments, just be careful. That's a red flag, right? The bank's never going to ask you to make a payment or transfer funds into a safe haven account, and neither will SABC. They're not going to phone you via WhatsApp calling on that. It's going to feel very lifelike. They're going to put you a lot of pressure. Hang up the phone and phone your bank directly on those lines. The fourth area really is around your device, your handset, right? A lot of people got their banking apps on these handsets, and we've seen phone snatching. They might be opening it, or they might be stealing your phone in an open state. Maybe you've saved your banking PIN on a note or something like that, or your banking PIN is something very easy to guess. If your phone gets snatched, immediately phone your bank. Just think of it. They may have your keys to the kingdom already. So they're looking at trying to get into your app as well. So just think, if your phone's in snatched going through, the first thing you do is phone the bank, stop all your accounts, and then obviously go open up a police case. And the last big category is really when you're paying somebody. So you're paying the vendor, you're paying transfer attorneys, and you're transacting, and you're getting payment instructions most importantly, via email. And remember, emails can be spoofed, emails can be faked, and what we've seen is that it's a phenomenon called business email compromise.
Yeah.
These fraudsters and scammers are able to hack into people's email addresses and intercept an invoice, put their banking details onto that invoice, and maybe you suddenly paid away a very large payment, sometimes if it's a purchase of a house, into an account owned by those fraudsters.
And Mr. Harris, I mean, during this time of the year, who are scammers often targeting during the festive season? Is it anybody, or is it people with certain activities activities on their banking apps, or those who are notorious for online shopping? Who's at risk here the most?
Yeah, unfortunately, I always say to everyone is that anybody could be at risk. We've seen everybody from attorneys, doctors, to unemployed persons really being targeted. And unfortunately, these scammers are opportunistic. They're after the quick buck, they're after the large buck, and so forth. If you are more digitally literate and you're going online and you're doing a lot of online shopping, you may be more at risk. But we've seen these guys target you all the way from early teens as much all the way to pensioners.
And when it comes to tips you can give to our viewers, what should they look out for, particularly when you talk about these scammers who are trying to target people during the festive season? How can they authenticate some of the messages coming in, particularly onto their phones?
Absolutely. So starting with the bank impersonation, for example, if you're a Capita client in some of the other banks, your app will actually warn you that you're not in the call with the bank. So go into your banking app. If it says in red over there, this call is not verified, it means you're not talking to us. For the rest of the banks in that, really just making sure that if somebody's phoning you from the bank and asks you to make a payment, hang up, slow down, really think to yourself, would the bank be asking me making that payment? Rather be safe than sorry and phone the bank directly back. The second thing is if you're buying something or you're investing into something, a lot of investment schemes as well this time of the year, is that, again, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? And really there's nothing as such as a free bargain, something's going out there. And then the thing is really don't click on those links, right? Rather go directly to the website. If you see something and somebody sent you something, whether it's via SMS, via WhatsApp, or you clicked on something via Facebook or some of the other social media platforms, rather go directly to their company's website and deal with them directly rather than going through a link.
All right, Mr. Harris, thank you so much for your time.